All right, guys, let's knock out this test 11 review video. Number 1 says, what quadrant is negative 14.3? Remember, we go like this. Negative 14 is barely down here, so that's in quadrant 4. Number 2 says, find two positive and negative angles that are coterminal to 115.3. Remember, when you hear coterminal, you're thinking, I'm going to add 360. So I'm going to do 115.3 plus 360 and 115.3 minus 360. And then I'm going to keep on adding 360 and subtracting 360 because I got to get 2 of them. So I'm going to get my calculator. I'm going to get 475.3 degrees. I'm then going to add 360 again to that. I'm getting 835.3. And then I'm going to do the subtraction, 115.3 minus 360, which is negative 244.7. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract 360 again. I'm going to get negative 604.7 degrees. All those are in degrees. All right. And then number 3 says find the complement and supplement of negative 180, which is really tricky. Remember, complements add up to be 90. So to find the complement of an angle, you take 90 degrees and you subtract the angle they gave you. So I'm going to subtract out negative 180, which is kind of weird compared to what you did in geometry. When you do that subtraction, you get 270. That would be the complement. The supplement adds up to be 180, so you would subtract that angle from 180. So I'm really adding 180 and 180, and I'm getting 360. So there's the complement and the supplement. Number 4 says find the 6 trig functions in the angle that passes through 9, 1. Not a bad problem, but you remember, to do this, you need to find r first. So to find r, you do r is the square root of x squared plus y squared. X is 9, x squared would be 81. Y is 1, 1 squared would be 1. We're going to get the square root of 82, which is probably not what you were expecting. So the sign, remember, sign is y over r. So I would do 1 over square root of 82. You just need to fix that, make it square root of 82 over 82. Cosecant is reciprocal of that, which is just square root of 82. Cosine is x over r, which would be 9 over square root of 82. Need to fix that one too. 9 on 82 over 82. Secant, you just flip that one, which is square root of 82 over 9. Tangent, y over x, just 1/9. And that should be cotangent right there. Not sure what happened. I don't know who wrote this thing. And you just flip that and you get 9. Number 5, just like that one. Okay, so don't forget sine, negative 12/13. These are mixed up a little bit down here, not in order like you're used to. The reciprocal of sine is cosecant, so I'm going to go ahead and put that here, negative 13/12. Now, one thing about this, remember, sine is y over r. That's y, that's r. So if r is, I need x. If r is 13, that means it's the square root of 12 squared plus x squared. X is what I don't know. All right, so I would square both sides here. Square this side and square this side. If you square left, you get 169. If you square right, the square root goes away. Move the 144 over. Take the square root to get plus or minus 5. Now, the plus or minus is up to you. Because it says quadrant 3, that means it's negative because x is negative in quadrant 3. So that means my cosine, remember, is is x over r. So it's going to be negative 5 over 13, which means my secant. Flip that one. Tangent is y over x. Y is on top of my sine right there. X is down here. It was negative 5. So it's just going to be 12/5, which means cotangent is going to be 5/12. Number 6, find the reference angle. Okay, the reference angle is how far away from the x-axis it is. So this time the reference angle is 30. Anytime you have a cosine of a 30-degree angle, you're going to be dealing with the square root of 3 over 2. Your job is to figure out if it's positive or negative. Because 330 is in quadrant 4 and x is positive in quadrant 4, that means, I don't know why I just put a negative sign. That means that's positive. Sorry about that. That was crazy. Okay, number 7, sine of negative 210. 210 is also 30 degrees away from the x-axis, so the reference angle is 30. All the sines of 30-degree angles are 1/2. So you got to figure out now what quadrant to figure out what sign to put in front of that. 1/2. Negative 210 degrees would be in quadrant 2. Okay, because remember, you're going clockwise that way when you're doing negative angles. Quadrant 2, sine is positive, so I'm done there. All right. Number 8, this negative 2 on the outside applies to everything inside. So I would do it this way. I would do negative 4. In parentheses, raise a negative 2 power. X, when you raise a power to a power, you multiply. Z, when you raise a power to a power, you multiply. So all I got to do is I got to fix that negative 4, and I'm done. I gotta do two things with the -4. I've got to square it and flip it. The 2 means you square it, the negative means you flip it. If you flip the -4 and square it, it becomes 16 on the bottom, and you have x10 z to the 4th on the top. Hopefully no big deal there. Number 9, looks like slide, divide, slide. I keep throwing those in there at you because I want to make sure you don't have what you're doing. Slide the 6, everybody knows 6 times 15 is like, 90. And if you factor 90 to get 1, you're gonna get a -10 and a +9. Don't forget to divide, that's the slide. Now I'm gonna divide by 6. Reduce those fractions, that's gonna be 5/3. That's gonna be 3/2. And to finish up, you just slide your denominator. So I'm gonna put the 3 back in front of the x. I'm gonna put the 2 in front of the x. And guys, that's it. You can check that if you want to by doing FOIL. Number 10 has been a long time here. You're allowed to multiply radicals. Okay, so I'm gonna multiply the radicals out here. I'm gonna get 2 times 6, x squared, y squared. The 12 you can break down. 12 is really 4 times 3. The square root of 4 is 2. I don't know the square root of 3, so it stays inside. And then when you do the variables, you just take the index, which I just wrote there is 2, divided it into your exponents. 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 2 one time. There's no remainder here, so that's it. Number 11, the old zip line problem again. The longest zip line in the world is the Zip Rider Dawsey Strait Point, Alaska. Its length is 54.95 feet and has a vertical drop of 13.20 feet. Find its angle of depression. Remember, we always say elevation. You know this is going to be right triangles, so we'll go ahead and draw the right triangle. See what we got here. First of all, it says the zip line is 54.95, which is the hypotenuse. That's how zip lines go. They go diagonal. The vertical drop, which is this side, is 1,320 feet. It says find its angle of depression or elevation. Remember that angle must touch the horizontal, so I was going to go right there. So I'm looking what I got here. That side is the opposite leg. That is the hypotenuse. So we're going to do sine of the angle is the opposite over the hypotenuse. To work that out, make sure your calculator's in degree mode, of course, and hit inverse sine. If you're looking for an angle, it's inverse sine. So in the second sine, 1320 divided by 54.95. Hit enter right there, and I'm getting like 13.9 degrees. That'll be about the angle. You can't see my decimal point. There we go. All right, number 12. Use your calculator to find sine 54. That's no big deal. I'll just punch in sine 54. Let's go 4 decimal places here. It looks like I'm getting 0.8090. I'm kind of in the dark here. I can't see it exactly right. So cosecant is a little bit tougher. There's no cosecant button on your calculator. It's the reciprocal of sine, so you got to punch it in like this. Hit 1 divided by, not cosecant, you can't do that. 1 divided by sine 49.5. Okay, make sure you get that, which one's which. So do 1 divided by sine 49.5. Looks like I'm getting 1.3151. We'll go 4 decimal places on those. All right, 13. Describe how the graph shifts and things. So these are those gestures we got. We have a +5 inside. That means it's going to shift opposite of what you think. Left 5. This one has 2 things. It's got a negative in the front. Negative in front means it reflects across the x-axis. And the 4 is inside. It's multiplied. So it's a horizontal shrink. Remember, that's also opposite by the reciprocal. So I'm going to put by the reciprocal of 4 is 1/4. Don't write the word reciprocal. Please just write 1/4. A lot of you put reciprocal last time. And then the number in the front here is a vertical shrink by 1/3. And there's got a -3 inside, which is the opposite of what you think. So I'm going to say shift right 3. All right, 16. 16 says find the inverse. Remember inverse. Take your x and y, switch them, get the y by itself. So I'm going to put the x over here. The y is going where the x was. Move everything over, get the y by itself. So I'm moving the 2 over first. Divide by 5. So get x plus 2 all over 5. And remember, we don't want to leave the y there. We want to put the inverse symbol, which is f -1, which means inverse of f. All right, almost last. 17, quite a few questions this week. 17 says f minus g of 2. 2 ways you can do this. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take the 2 I'm gonna plug it into F and plug it into G, then I'm gonna subtract them. If I plug 2 right there, that's gonna be 2 squared, which is 4, minus 2, which is 2. If I plug 2 into G, I get 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So if I do 2 minus 7, that's -5. I hope that makes some sense. I'm not showing much work here. F times G of 3, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna plug 3 into F and 3 into G and multiply my two answers. If I put 3 into F, I'm getting 3 squared, which is 9, minus 2 is 7. If I plug 3 into G right here, I'm getting 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 1 is 10. 7 times 10 is 70. And the last one, I just did this. I'm gonna plug 3 into F, which gave me a 7 a second ago. 3 into G, which gave me 10. Just put 1 on top of the other, 7/10. You got it. And the last one here, tangent 30 degrees. First of all, don't forget, tangent is really sine over cosine. Okay, so sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Cosine 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. What you can do here is you can cancel the 2's, which gives you this. And you know you can't leave it that way, so I'm gonna take the square root to the top, number out on the bottom. And guys, there you go, square root of 3 over 3. Hope that helps. Wear this video out, watch it a lot, watch what you need. Do great tomorrow, can't wait to see ya. Do great, Rob. You only got 4 more tests after this one before the semester's over. Unbelievable. All right, see you tomorrow.